You think AI will just take over your job? Well, it could redefine what it even means to be human. And that's the chilling warning from one of AI's original creators. Here's how the growing AI influence will impact humanity in the near future. The unlikely warning at a graduation speech. Imagine a sunny day at the University of Toronto, students in caps and gowns buzzing with excitement, waiting for one of the most respected minds in artificial intelligence to send them off with a message of hope and ambition. But instead, the co-founder of OpenAI, Ilya Sutskever, walks up to the podium and drops a truth bomb that feels more like a warning label than a pep talk. He casually tells them that the technology they've all grown up marveling at is only in its infancy, and yet it's already on a trajectory that could alter the course of human civilization. Now that was unusual for the students. Normally, when you hear from the pioneers of a field, they radiate optimism, celebrating breakthroughs and looking ahead to brighter futures. But here was Sutskever, a man who literally shaped the foundation of ChatGPT and modern AI systems, making a bold claim about its own future. According to him, AI isn't just about cool apps, smarter assistants, or easier coding. What's coming is far more disruptive. And if you're thinking it was just a ceremonial speech, it was not. It was a cautionary tale, a moment where the person holding the blueprint leaned over and whispered, "Be careful, this thing is bigger than you realize." And for those graduates who thought they were stepping into a world where AI was a helpful tool, the message was clear. The world they're entering will be nothing like the one their parents built. AI as the biological computer's successor. Sutskever didn't just toss out vague warnings. He grounded his caution in a striking analogy. He called the human brain a biological computer. Now, think about what that really means. For centuries, we've romanticized intelligence as uniquely human, but here he was saying the brain is just a system, complex, yes, but ultimately a processor of inputs and outputs. And if biology can do it, why can't silicon? That's the unnerving leap. Because if a human brain can learn math, write music, invent a new technology, or feel inspired by a painting, then theoretically a digital brain, an AI could eventually learn to do all of that too. Not just a few tasks, not just the repetitive or the mechanical, but everything. And that opens up uncomfortable questions. If AI can learn and replicate human abilities, where does that leave careers built on years of expertise? What about the spark of creativity we've always considered untouchable? And perhaps more deeply, what becomes of our sense of purpose when machines can match or surpass our mental capacities? By now, the conversation is way past robots taking jobs in factories. It's about machines stepping into the very heart of human identity, our intelligence, and asking, what's next for us if we're no longer the smartest thing in the room? The domino effect: work, progress, and acceleration. Here's the part that hits harder the more you think about it. AI isn't just taking jobs, it's speeding up the very process of progress itself. Ilya Sutskever put it in blunt terms. Every advance in AI doesn't exist in isolation, it fuels the next one. It's like knocking down one domino, only to realize the line never ends and the pieces keep multiplying ahead of you. Imagine an AI system that can write better code. That doesn't just mean one programmer becomes redundant. It means the AI can immediately start improving the next generation of AI models, which then improve the ones after that. The cycle tightens, the pace quickens, and suddenly innovation starts sprinting ahead faster than humans can even track. Sutskever's point here isn't just technical, it's psychological. Human beings are bad at emotionally processing exponential change. We're used to linear progress, slow, steady, predictable. But when improvements start stacking on top of each other, the line curves upward, and before you know it, the world looks nothing like it did a year before. And that's the unnerving bit. The scary part isn't what AI can do right now. The scary part is what it inevitably becomes tomorrow, whether we're ready for it or not. Which naturally leads to the question, if it's accelerating on its own, who, if anyone, is steering? From promise to peril, the political angle. At this point, Suitskever makes a sharp pivot, and it's one that catches people off guard. He reminds us of a simple truth. You might not care about politics, but politics definitely cares about you. And in his framing, AI is no different. You can ignore it, dismiss it, or push it out of your mind, but sooner or later it's going to reach into your daily life in ways you can't avoid. Think of it this way. If AI is going to reshape jobs, economies, and even global power, then leaving it to the experts isn't a luxury society can afford. Waiting until the stakes are obvious is already too late. By the time policymakers scramble to catch up, the technology may be 2 steps ahead, writing the next playbook while governments are still arguing over the last one. What makes this shift important is that Suitskever isn't just talking about machines anymore. He's talking about how societies absorb shock, how cultures deal with sudden power shifts, and how decisions made in a few capitals ripple out to billions of lives. The point lands with a weighty finality. AI isn't only a technical puzzle, it's a societal one. And that sets the stage for a second voice in this unfolding story, the perspective of Schmidt, who takes the baton from Suitskever and doesn't so much continue the warning as amplify it. Schmidt's forecast, the next 12 to 24 months. When Schmidt, the former Google CEO, talks about the future, he doesn't paint it in broad sci-fi strokes. Instead, he points straight at the next 2 years and says, "This is where the ground shakes." For him, the timeline isn't some vague 2050 horizon. It's programmers being replaced by AI coders before their current laptops even wear out. It's graduate-level mathematicians realizing that the machine beside them isn't just solving equations, but doing it faster, cleaner, and with leaps of intuition that feel unsettlingly human. And here's the kicker. Schmidt isn't talking about incremental upgrades. He's talking about recursive self-improvement already beginning to take root. That's AI writing better versions of itself, locking in a foundation that only accelerates. Around San Francisco, this growing certainty even has a nickname, the San Francisco Consensus, the belief that artificial general intelligence could arrive in as little as 3 to 5 years, not decades, years. Layer on his point about agentic systems, AIs that don't just answer questions but manage entire processes. Imagine an AI buying property, filing permits, and designing the house you'll live in, all without a human middleman. Schmidt's message is simple but jarring. This isn't some distant risk. The building blocks of a new world are already in place, and the clock has started ticking. The road to artificial general intelligence and artificial superintelligence. Zooming out, Schmidt doesn't just stop at near-term disruption. His bigger warning is that once recursive self-improvement hits scale, we're staring at not just AGI, machines as smart as us, but ASI, machines smarter than all of us combined. That's the leap where the human brain isn't the ceiling anymore. It's the floor. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Our political systems, our democracies, our legal processes, they move like molasses compared to the speed of these breakthroughs. By the time committees hold hearings and laws crawl through parliaments, the technology may have already evolved 2 generations beyond what anyone was debating. It's like trying to legislate smartphones while the rest of the world is already living in neural implants. Schmidt also grounds this in cold physical reality, the energy demands. We're not talking about a couple of server farms here. We're talking gigawatts of power, entire new grids, and infrastructure that even wealthy nations will strain to build. The sheer scale suggests this isn't just a technical challenge, it's a geopolitical one. Who controls the compute? Who controls the power? And ultimately, who controls the intelligence? In his framing, AGI and ASI aren't just engineering milestones, they're civilizational events, and the unsettling part is that humanity may simply not be ready to handle them. What happens when nobody's ready? And that's where Sutskever's caution and Schmidt's urgency crash into each other, leaving us with the uncomfortable big picture. Whether you're a coder, a lawyer, a teacher, or someone who just wants to get through the day without thinking about algorithms, it's going to touch your life, and probably faster than you expect. Jobs will shift in ways nobody can fully predict. Some careers may vanish, while others morph into something unrecognizable. Intelligence, once the sacred trait we thought defined us, may no longer be uniquely human. That's not a headline. It's a profound identity crisis. And here's the final truth. Both men hammer home. Ignoring AI won't stop it. Pretending it's hype won't slow it down. The only real choice is whether we engage with it, whether governments, industries, and ordinary people step into the mess and try to steer it before it outruns us entirely. The future Schmidt and Sutskever describe isn't necessarily collapse, but it's not automatically utopia either. It's a fork in the road. And which way it goes may depend less on the machines themselves and more on whether humanity can prepare in time.